Okay. Ron Cabrera, organizer of the Santa Monica Tea Party. Give it up for Ron. Thank you, Ron. Right. Yes, I went up to that. We had a great time. Heidi came up, and I couldn't find a good picture of me with my. You were taking pictures of me in the wind, and I had this face was like, so I'm not going to use that picture. So I did, but I did get a picture. I'll show it later of both the tea parties. I pulled the other one off of Nathan. But Ron, you started organizing. I'll get into the questions later. But how many were attended approximately at the peak? Because we were there real early, and they were still coming, and it looked like around 250, 300 or something. Do you know about how many ended up?
To estimate the peak is a little bit hard, but it was anywhere from 500 to 700. Mm-hmm. Some girls showed up to hand out some of those energy drinks, and they handed out at least 500.
Oh, so, yeah.
But throughout the day, there could have been upwards of 1,000 people, but the peak attendance was probably about 700.
Right. Okay, great. This is outstanding, and this is all done. You'll see how they did it. But let me introduce before we get into the specifics. Sarah Michelle Spinosa, editor of the blog alternapundit.com, web developer and libertarian activist. I've met you at several functions. Thank you for showing up. She's a whiz on the web, and I really wanted her to come and kind of help give an angle on how to amplify these good ideas and build on what they've already done. So you're eventually Dave Schrader. When you finish up, can I get you to switch places with Sarah? Because then we'll go with that. But we'll do that in a few minutes because I'm going to. Oh man, we have a technical breakdown. All right, get Nathan on it. Our microphone fell apart. Okay, and on the phone was supposed to be Tom Jenny. Actually, it was Jim Cover was also on there, and we just couldn't hear him. But I promise he agreed to do a follow-up interview tomorrow, and because they had 3,500 people out in Orange County, and I'm going to get him to comment on the discussions we had tonight and add some more of his wisdom because they had a huge organization. I don't know how they even did it, but we'll get the story on that tomorrow. I'll follow up with an interview. There's a picture of the Southbay Tea Party off the website. You can see just the thick crowd and everyone kind of bundling around each other, right, to block the wind.
It was like it was like Iwo Jima getting that banner up. I swear to God. I mean, it was blowing about 40, and we had it was like how many engineers did it take to screw in a light bulb? We must have had 5-8 guys up there all trying to put it up.
Yeah, look at all those.
So I look at Gary, my vice chair, that went and bought the thing the day before, and I say, couldn't you have thought to get some holes in it or something, get it perforated? But you can kind of see there on the palm tree, it's being held up by a broomstick. We used to keep it rigid. So,
wow. Okay, that's fantastic. Let me fast forward to the next slide here. Oh, this is one that Heidi took, and Ron, I didn't have time to get any of the pictures you referred me to, but I got. This is one there was only about 200, 250 there. This is pretty early in the day, and they started gathering up, and we're right on. Is it Ocean Avenue? Right there by the pier in Santa Monica, and people were lined up on the street, and as cars went by, we had always had constant honking horns and solidarity honks going on, and you can see the "Don't Tread on Me" yellow flag there, just barely behind that guy. But that was a good organization. Now this one we had also in the background. I didn't show this picture, but somebody set up a big flag display, like an American flag. Was that you? Oh, okay. See, so I didn't know his face at the time. So we yeah, 5 flags. Yeah, there was really, really nice display. So we got some shots of that. Okay, let me go to the questions now. This is the way I want to do this. Is I'll post the questions to the organizers, and then anyone can follow up. But I want to give Sarah first shot at following up. So Sarah and I will follow up, but specifically about how you got the message out and the differences between the two approaches. Because this is probably pretty representative of an average Tea Party size. These guys, running at 500 and 1,500. Yeah, thanks, Dave. And the idea of this recording is to try to give some advice to people who have, they may have had a little tea party out in Topeka or something, and they want to have a bigger one next time, maybe at 4th of July. So let me just start in. We'll start getting some facts out. Every time I ask a question, you guys will both answer, and then, we can follow up, or you can follow up on what he said, whatever. We're to kind of keep it open, and we may not make it through all of them, but so it's not a hard structure. Libertarians are, it's like herding cats anyway, so I'm not going to try to control. Okay, number one, when and how did you start up and become the main promoter of your Tea Party group?
Well, that's kind of a long story, but around December or so, I saw everything that was going on with the bailouts, and of course, then Obama won the election, and I just found myself getting increasingly more disgusting with everything that was going on, and I'd been involved with the College Republicans since, when I was in college, and but since then I've been, working for several years. I didn't really have time to think about it much, aside from, yelling at the television. So around December time frame, I contacted Brendan, or I sent an email into FreedomWorks, which is the Dick Armey's think tank out in D.C., and said, hey, I'd like to get involved if I can, and Brendan Steinhauser, who's our director of national campaigns, called me up and said, hey, we'd like you to form a chapter. So about a month later, I had a meeting, and I sent out an email. They sent me a list of about 180 emails, and I scattershot it and said, hey, whoever's interested, give me a call. The first meeting, I had 2 people show up, and that didn't really go anywhere. And then Rick Santelli had his infamous rant on CNBC, and suddenly this Tea Party thing got going, and I said, well, maybe we should do one of those here. And I think, Ron, we were some of the first 20 people on that California call, right? There's 15 people back in early March. And it just kind of grew from there. I mean, it eventually got to the point where I couldn't do it on my own. I sent out an email saying, hey, I need help. Anyone that can help, please contact me. And we had a meeting actually in a gym in Long Beach. It was this lady, Dee's Gym, that she shut down for a couple hours so we could have our meeting in there. I mean, just talk about really grassroots, right? There I am pontificating from on top of a weight bench. And I basically, what amazed me, what was different about this versus when I'd worked with the college Republicans in college. In college, I pretty much had to promise somebody a vice presidentship to get them to hang up a flyer in their dorm. Because they were all a bunch of little ambitious bastards, and really all they cared about is, can you get me an internship with John McCain or Corzine or whoever. But this time I had a room with 20 people in it, and I went around the room after I'd gotten done assigning all the action items and said, okay, who hasn't gotten something that wants to do something? And 5 more hands went up. I mean, everybody there was pissed off and ready to really help. So, and with that, I guess I became kind of the de facto leader. So